You still haven't realized the truth of this world. Let me help you.
Do you believe in destiny, Neo?
No.
Why not?
I dislike not having control over my life.
I know exactly what you mean. Do you want to know what the Matrix is? The Matrix is all around us. It's all around us. You see it when you look out the window or when you turn on the television. You feel it when you go to work, when you go to church, when you pay your taxes. It's the world you believe is real, so you don't see the truth.
What truth?
That you're a slave, Neo. Like everyone else, you were born into captivity, born into a prison that you cannot see, feel, or touch. A prison for your mind.
All right, maybe you've already realized that, but hold on, because just discovering this so-called matrix, figuring out how it works and how it controls your life, doesn't free you from this prison. Many people make this mistake. Noticing the bars of your cell doesn't mean you're free. Want to see? Look at this guy here, from the movie Under the Silver Lake.
Why do we believe that all this infrastructure and the entertainment and information that are transmitted everywhere, all the time, in every home and on our planet, are they exactly what they say they are? Maybe there are people out there who are more important than us, more powerful, richer than us, who communicate and see things in the world meant only for them, not us. I think it's extremely ridiculous to assume that the media has only one purpose, isn't it?
There are people who listen to this kind of guy talking and go around saying that he's a genius, that he's awakened, that he got out of the matrix. But honestly, as much as he sees things that almost no one notices, to me, he doesn't seem like someone who's free, someone at peace. He just seems like an idiot, frustrated and trying to justify his anger. A man who despises the system ends up victimized by it.
Oh, I'm weird.
These aren't the scenes I want to cover in this video. It's a different one. A scene that can give us a rarer and much more practical angle on our struggle against the system. A scene exposing a truth few notice. And even among those few who notice, very few still have the courage to accept it. The movie Gattaca, released in 1997, was ahead of its time and wasn't very successful when it came out. Recognition only came years later. But anyway, let me quickly tell this story so we can get to that blessed scene I want to show here. The movie Gattaca shows a future where human beings are genetically engineered in laboratories. Parents not only choose their child's name, but also their DNA. Want your child to be tall, smart, not prone to depression, free of vision issues, and without heart disease risk? Done. A society where children are lab-born using the best science offers. At the start, we see a couple having a child naturally like everyone else. Right after the child is born, the nurse reviews their file and lists several deficiencies and issues. She has a 99% chance of heart disease, an 89% probability of attention deficit, a 42% chance of depression, and more. Her life expectancy is under 30 years. And this child is the protagonist of the story, Vincent, someone who is born into a society that considers him inferior from the very first moment. At the start of the movie, the parents try to raise their son as best they can. Over time, they lose hope due to the many challenges of having a son labeled invalid by society. For example, they can't get Vincent into a good school. They visit several, but he's always rejected due to his DNA. And as for the future, they also know that their son won't have the slightest chance at the most competitive jobs. The difficulties make them decide to have a second child, but this time genetically modified. Anton is born, and as they grow up, the differences between the brothers become clear. Even the younger one, Anton, is already much taller, more athletic, more intelligent, and soon becomes the parents' favorite. In their childhood, we see the brothers competing for everything all the time, and naturally Anton ends up winning absolutely everything. But then, in their teens, something happens that changes the story's course. The two brothers go to the beach and decide to have their traditional swimming competition. The goal is to see who can reach the farthest, even to the horizon.
Are you sure you want to do this? You know you're going to lose.
And surprisingly, Vincent wins. And to make Anton even more frustrated, he starts to drown. Vincent saves his brother by carrying him to shore. This marks a major turning point in the movie. as Vincent decides to leave home after this achievement. And despite everything they've said about him, he keeps chasing his dreams. He continues studying to become an astronaut at Gattaca, even though he knows they'll never accept someone genetically inferior, labeled an invalid, no matter how qualified he is. Then he gets an idea. To overcome this, he assumes Jerome's identity. A once genetically perfect athlete became paraplegic after an accident and now lacks ambition. He sells his DNA to invalids wanting access to restricted places, and Vincent buys his dream. But to his surprise, when he arrives for the interview, he sees that just the genetic code is enough to get hired. They didn't ask any questions or test him. After being hired, his life turns into this craziness of having to collect DNA samples, blood, urine, and hair from Jerome every day to get in and stay at the company. There, they are extremely strict, and any hair out of place can reveal his real identity. But things get even more complicated when a murder occurs within the company. And during the investigation, they discover that there is someone working undercover, that there is an invalid among Gattaca's employees. They begin investigating to track down who he is. And even worse, the person in charge of the investigation is none other than Anton, Vincent's brother. He can't recognize his brother after so long apart in such drastic changes. The story then continues, and after a lot of back and forth, after a lot of investigation, Anton discovers that the infiltrator in the company is actually his brother. Still, he doesn't care and wants to turn him in.
What are you doing here, Anton?
I should be asking you that. I have the right to be here. You don't.
He resents his brother's success, believing his brother is beneath him.
Do you know what I went through to get here?
You've gone too far. You're coming with me now.
It seems that defeat at sea years ago still hurts him a lot.
It's over! Is the only way for you to succeed by making me fail? Are you going to tell me what I can or can't do now too? In case you haven't noticed, I don't need any help, but you needed it once.
Anton feels offended and says that loss was just bad luck, that he lost to himself that day, and that it would never happen again. To prove his point, he issues a challenge. Years later, they return to the sea to compete again. Now we reach the film's big scene. After a long swim, Anton wonders if it was really necessary.
Vincent, we're already too far out.
Do you want to give up?
We're already too far out.
Do you want to give up?
No!
And then they keep going. And after a while, Anton, exhausted and unable to go on, gives up and asks them to go back. Vincent once again beats his brother, and at that moment he decides to explain how he manages to do all this.
Do you know why I can do it?
That's why I can do it, Anton!
I never saved energy for the return swim.
Anton begins to drown, and Vincent again rescues him and brings him to shore. This scene is so iconic and powerful that Ethan Hawke considers it among the best lines of his career.
It has my favorite line I've ever said in a movie, which is, I never saved anything for the swim back.
Why do you like that line so much?
It's about not holding anything back. Not letting fear make decisions for us.
It doesn't matter if you can go back, you risk everything. It's putting everything in that direction. Even if no one believes or everything is against you, that's what makes the difference. You can spend your life thinking the world isn't for you, that the system is all set up so you won't succeed, as we clearly see in Vincent's story. Still, he achieves his dream and beats his brother because Vincent is hungrier and more ambitious. He has more desire to win. That doesn't come from DNA, inheritance, or your name, but from within. It stems from all the times he was told no, and that he wasn't good enough or couldn't achieve his dreams. But let's be honest, most people don't live like that. Most people live in fear of moving forward because there's no guarantee it will work out. They choose to comfort themselves and excuse their failures with if only. If I had been born into another family, if I had the mindset I have today back then, if my parents had supported me, if I had money, if I were well connected, and this victim mentality that seems to bring comfort, it stops you from accepting reality and using your strengths to fuel your ambition. Just like Vincent does in the movie. After all, no matter how unfair this life is, the truth is, it's still the only one you have. But many times it's hard to realize that, because the world we live in teaches us from an early age to see everything you're not, to focus on what's missing to be perfect, and to forget everything you already have.
They make you obsess over every flaw. After a while, that's all you notice.
Systems control you best by making you see yourself as weak. It just needs to repeat what's wrong with you daily. After a while, repeating isn't needed anymore. You already think that way, already feel weak and incapable. And when a human being loses the ability to think for himself, when he loses the ability to deal with his problems on his own, he gives in. He obeys. And when that happens, the system has won. This is one of the most effective mass manipulation strategies there is. Repeat it until it seems true. Get people to accept your version of reality by constantly reinforcing it. This is the 5th of the 21 commandments I made on manipulating the masses. By the way, if you're interested in learning more about this, I recommend you watch this video here, where, besides explaining about my series, I gave a quick sample of what this episode is like, where I explore all the strategies of mass manipulation. But anyway, what I'm trying to get at is that what people who feel wronged and harmed don't realize is that if they really had all those things they believe are keeping them from getting what they want, they probably wouldn't have the hunger they have today. When life hands you everything, you don't chase after things. You just expect people to keep serving you. It's like Cristiano Ronaldo's son, born seeing a father who has achieved everything. That may seem normal and easy to him, since the kid was born into that reality. Luxury, fame, and success all preceded the effort. It's routine for him, and his father knows it well.
Let's see if he has the same hunger.
Hunger is the hardest part.
He may be very good, maybe even better, but he'll never match his hunger and ambition.
My son is 12 years old. The mentality isn't the same. He has things easier. Everything is easier. He doesn't suffer.
The path to success can be longer for some than others. But if there's one thing I've noticed, it's that those who are hungry, determined, and don't look for excuses for failure always make it. And here, after hearing all this speech, you might even say, but this is just a movie. We can never base our lives on fiction. It's all a lie. In real life, it's impossible. World is unfair, cruel, and unequal. And you're right. That's your world, your way of seeing things, and I don't blame you. That used to be my world too, until I realized that the way I saw it directly impacted my reality in this life. And when I realized that, I chose to change. I changed my perception. I decided to believe. I decided to go after my dreams without holding anything back for the swim back. You also feel like life could be so much more. To live this reality, you need to deprogram your mind. Getting in touch with the third dimension is an enriching process. The experience goes beyond freedom. Besides thinking outside the box, living more authentically is a state of harmony in thought.